the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, the Honorable Makau, for taking your time out of a very busy schedule. I know how busy you are to be here with us to inaugurate this process. So I thank you, and through you, I thank the Judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. I also want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, for taking what is a bold and unprecedented step to leap into history by establishing this process, which is unique and which is singular in our nation and on the continent of Africa. I also want to thank the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, who has expressed unqualified support for this initiative. I want to thank the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who has been a champion of victims in this country and who has spearheaded, together with the President, a national healing process. And this one in particular, he has been a singular voice calling for compensation of victims. I want to thank also the Attorney General, who has been very helpful to us in prosecuting this particular initiative. I want to thank the Cabinet Secretary for the Treasury, John Badi, who is supporting us with treasure, obviously, very important. I also want to thank the Ministry of the Interior and National Administration, and lastly, the Head of the Public Service, Mr. Philip Koskei. And I want to express, obviously, my thanks to all the oversight bodies and constitutional commissions who have sent their very highly qualified individuals and staff to join us in this effort. So I want to express that thanks. I also want to, since now the panel is seated, Honorable Makau, if you permit me, I want to read their names because they are now members of this panel so that they can stand up and be recognized. It's a historic moment. I want to begin with, of course, my Vice Chair, the able and fearless Faith Odhiambo-Moni. Please stand up and be recognized. I want to call upon Mr. Kennedy N. Ogeto. Mr. Irungu Houghton, Dr. John Olukuru, the Reverend Father Kennedy Barasa Simiu, he is praying for us, Dr. Linda Musumba, Dr. Duncan Ojuan, the Gen Z among us, Miss Naini Langus, Dr. Francis Moraya, Miss Juliet Chepkemei, Mr. Pius Meadow, Miss Fatuma Kinsi Abbas is not here, but we recognize her as well. Mr. Raphael Anampiu, and my good friend Mr. John Maina. You may stay standing until I finish reading the other names, please, if you don't mind. Our technical lead, the incomparable Richard Bano. The co-technical lead, Dr. Duncan Okelo Ndeda. And of course, the individuals who are going to make this machine move, Ms. Jerusa Mwathime Michael, Dr. Raphael Ngetich, and Ms. Daki Guyo. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Yeah, please, I forgot to mention Churchill Suba. Where are you, Churchill? Okay. I don't want to make that mistake. I just want to say that, history is written and told by those who live it. It should be done that way, not those who don't live it. And I just want to say that today, the people of Kenya, through this panel, are writing and living their own history. I want to say that this particular exercise is an installment, if you will, in our long journey to become a nation, to go from being a country, a government, a state, to become a nation. That is irreversible. Our focus today, however, is a narrow one. It is on protests and demonstrations and how we perform them in the context of our Constitution. And I want to say, and make this very clear, protests and demonstrations do not have to turn deadly or violent. They do not have to turn deadly or violent. For the purpose of demonstration and protest is for the people's voices to be heard. And the people's voices can be heard without violence or death. In many countries around the world, as you've all seen, citizens protest all the time. And they do so peacefully. And after the protests, they go home in one piece and safely. Our purpose here today is to turn the page and to start writing a new chapter so that we can establish the fact of peaceful protests and demonstrations as a Kenyan norm, so that we can perform Article 37 of our Constitution, which is one of the heartbeats of Kenya, on assembly, on demonstrations, on picketing, and on petition, which have at times turned deadly. We can turn that article into the lifeblood of our democracy. We know that the violence that has taken place has taken lives of civilians, of citizens, the majority of whom did nothing wrong but to turn out to express themselves. We also know that a number of our law enforcement people, without whom there is no country, have also suffered. And I want to make sure that people understand that the law enforcement people are also our fellow citizens. They are our children. They are our brothers. They are our fathers. And we equally feel for them, those who have been affected. Why are we undertaking this initiative? This initiative launches a national process to transform our political and our human rights culture around the rights of assembly and speech. It is just but one limb of transitional justice: compensation and reparations, institutional reform, appropriate prosecutions and accountability, access to justice in the courts, which my able vice chair has talked about, and law and policy reform. These are the other limbs of the transitional justice matrix. I want to echo my vice chair's emphasis that this particular effort is victim-centered. It is impartial, and it is non-partisan. It is apolitical, It is not an exercise in political expediency. It is a heartfelt exercise in which we intend as a country to lead not just with the head, but to lead with the heart. I admit and I concede that this exercise is not a replacement for criminal investigations or the oversight by the bodies that are mandated by our Constitution to conduct that process of oversight. I want to assure that where evidence warrants, matters must be taken to court through the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and other bodies. I want to emphasize also my firm belief that this work complements the mandate of IPOA, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. It does not seek to replace it or to usurp it. It supplements the work of those institutions, including the work of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, of the National Police Service, the NPS, of the Ministry of Health, and I'm glad to see Dr. Denda here, of civil society, and of our faith communities. I want to outline what our operating principles are going to be. We shall be guided by the very conscious